Greetings, it is I, the Harbinger of Destruction, the Dragon of the Abyss, the Devourer of Destiny, Executioner of Fates. How many titles does this guy have? Redscape Gaming. How are we all doing today? Hopefully we're doing pretty well. Today we're going to be playing Diablo 4, Season 14. I will be using a different character today. You've seen me play a lot of the Rogue Penetrating Shot build, which is kind of an ATL build. Today we are going to be playing Shred Werewolf Druid, which is pretty powerful. I think it was way easier to climb with this particular seasonal character. It is going to be seasonal solo self-found. So for those of you who don't know what that means, if you come in here asking to play with me, you cannot, because it is particularly a build in which you cannot pair up with people, you cannot trade with people. I would kind of hope, but they didn't do this, that in solo self-found, you wouldn't have people on your map running around, because I feel like that's just the immersion break. But I do like the fact that... Sorry, I was trying to mess with my phone a little bit because it's acting up. I do like the fact that it gives us the ability to do something and not have, like, people trying to just trade to get busted items and stuff. I'll show you the build. There was a new patch that came out for Diablo 4. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do quite much. I want to make sure that our audio is good because it's a tabbed out and I have to tab in case you're wondering, like, why the hell am I doing that? I just want to make sure you guys can hear the game as well as you can hear me. Yeah, so this build was kind of, ironically, a lot easier to get set up as opposed to my Penetrating Shot Rogue build, which doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. I have the Galeon's Birthright, which is, as you can see, a mythic unique. I also have the Waxing Gibbous with 3 stars on it, as you can see, which is a mythic unique. I also got the Iphel's Dire Totem, which is also a mythic unique. I also have the Malefic Crescent, which is pretty much all the items you need to actually get the build kind of started. We all have a mythic. We got kind of lucky. The only thing that I don't have yet as mythic, which we're going to target today on stream, that's the major focus, is we need the Dirge of Erda. I think we could do it. I'm pretty sure we could do it. I actually have all the way to Torment 11 unlocked, which is kind of unheard of because we're only at Paragon 201, which kind of shows how powerful this build is. I'm not really going to go over the passives too much because obviously you can look this up for yourself in either Max Rolls guides or anybody else. I've taken a little bit of liberties and changed it up a bit, but basically what you want to do with this build is you want as many points as you can into Lightning Storm. You want to take additional strikes. You want to take the werewolf because it's a werewolf ability. You want to take minimum strikes. And then from there, you want to take Hero of the Storm because the Lightning Storm follows you around. Moving on to the main meat and potato, Shred. Put as many points as you can into this. You're going to put a point into cast speed. You're going to put a point into Shred heals for 3%, so healing. You're going to want to take the werewolf passive. Then you're going to want to take Storm Shred. And from there, put a point into werewolves. I did put into this stuff here in the skill tree. You don't have to. You could just put 1 point so you get the speed attack boost. Then you want as many points as you can into Hurricane. Put a point into critical strike chance. Put a point into slow. Put, obviously, a point into versatile. Then you can basically get rapid intensification. I like it this way. Some people don't. There's this idiot moving around in front of me. Go away. It's the one thing when you're streaming that people just gotta act like idiots sometimes. Anyway, moving back onto that. Next up, we want to trample, 1 point into it. We want to point into werewolf. We want to point into cooldown. You don't have to take anything here. From here, this is just a passive that we have. Moving down, we want Grizzly Rage, as many points as you can get into that. Put 1 point into cooldown reduction. We don't take anything here. Then you take 1 point into Cornered Beast, and you're basically going to be doing a massive amount of damage. So, we're going to start with a pit run, because I'm trying to get a whole bunch of pits going. Thank you, whoever that was, for the follow here, either on YouTube or Twitch. I do greatly appreciate that. Alright, let's go for a pit run. I just want to level up some glyphs. We could unlock Torment 12, but we don't have a strong enough damage output right now. So I think we'll do Torment 10, just for fast, efficient farming. I should have probably put in streamer mode. I always forget to do that. It's kind of crazy how Diablo 4 has a streamer mode. I never use it because I'm like, well, why should we have to really use it in a game that, you know, nobody really plays PvP? So it's pretty obvious what you do here. You're going to cast your Thunder 2 times. Why? Because you're trying to get it to cast 3 times in a row so it comes out a little bit quicker. And from there, what you're going to do is you're going to cast your Hurricane. From there, you're just going to use your Shred to teleport around the map, cutting a lot of enemies down pretty quickly. I also, based on rune words, have the ability to freeze things with a Frost Nova, which is kind of nice. I didn't really go into the rune words for this build because, again, just go on max roll. You'll find a guide. It won't be exactly like my setup, but it'll be pretty close to what I'm using. And then that's all you basically do. The majority of the game, you're going to melt just about anything up until Torment 12, and then obviously you got to min-max your gear. It's not really, you know, like a super hard game when it comes to Diablo 4. Honestly, the only other thing that I was kind of hoping for this season, and they didn't do it, is to kind of fix the iconic mythic uniques, because a lot of this season has been under heavy contention by a lot of the players, myself included in that, is the fact that Mythic 3.0 as an update is not really that good. I don't think it's a good idea, many other people have said, to have like 70 different mythic uniques that are available per class, and then on top of that, it kind of deletes the loot pool for the iconic mythics. That's why, like, Shred Druid is kind of fine for the season, and probably one of the better builds you can go with, for the fact that most of the stuff that you need mythic-wise is going to be some of the ones from the Mythic 3.0 update, and doesn't actually, this build whatsoever, use any iconic mythics. Which is kind of nice, because then you can kind of not have to worry about some of the other things. Like, I'm pretty sure most of you who were following my Rogue seasonal journey saw how much of a pain in the behind it was for me to get a Harley Quinn crest. And by the time I actually got the Harley Quinn crest, it did absolutely nothing for me, because the... what was it? Cowl of the Nameless I got as a mythic unique, and it outperformed my Harley Quinn crest exponentially. You might be able to use it for like very, very late game pushing, but for what I was trying to accomplish, it was basically underpowered. And I think a lot of people have touched on this, even higher, bigger content creators than myself, that when it comes to iconic mythic uniques, they shouldn't feel very weak. The whole point of them being iconic mythic uniques are they are the 12 chase items in the game. If you make the 12 chase items in the game, mostly, not all of them, but most of them, crappy, and give them a significant nerf, excuse me, what is the point in that? It kind of devalues the whole point of iconic mythics. So, honestly, Dreadknights, I think you're better off for the most part just rocking. Why am I stuck here? I'm gonna take an unnecessary death. There's an interesting little axe fight there. Most of the people are gonna try to... I think your best bet is just going with a build that doesn't have to deal with some of the tomfoolery of iconic mythics, and they're so watered down. I'm assuming, I don't know, have like a great amount of authority on this, that probably for season 15 they'll do something to either buff the iconic uniques, or I could see them completely doing away with the mythic unique loot pool and bring them back down to what they were originally. I don't think there's a way necessarily that you can fix this to make a whole bunch of players happy right now. I killed the boss like super quick there. One of the things that you're going to notice from this update is they did bring back the protection bubble. It was gone for some reason. I don't know why the hell it was gone, but it was gone for a while. Unfortunately, as you can see, the enemies can still kind of walk in here, but it gives me a bit of a buffer. Let's put Earth and Sky up as much as we can. I can kind of like let the wolves, as you see there, do their work. I don't have to worry about those things. That's what happens when you're playing such a metagame build. Let me check OBS a quick second here. We're good. Sometimes with this game, which is kind of funny, it also gets me pretty mad, is it will have like a lag spike where like the servers, I don't know if it's that they crap out or what it is about them, but they just like poop on you and then you're stuck frozen in place. A lot of content creators have talked about this before. It's kind of annoying. This is why I don't play hardcore. For those of you who don't know, I don't play hardcore in this game for that one particular reason. Just because it's a bit of a nuisance to me personally to have to deal with it. Alright. Let's see. OBS is somewhat behaving itself. Let's look around here. Threw up my phone too because I wanted to make But are these guys okay? These guys good here over on YouTube land? Sometimes the thing with YouTube lately is that it's been a bit wonky. I don't know. It's easier sometimes on Twitch, but I don't know. I gotta fix my YouTube settings because I have like OBS. I haven't updated OBS in a while, so that could potentially be one of the headaches. Alright, let's chunk this. Let's go up this way, right? Get the intelligence, then we'll go to willpower. Let's see here. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Sorry, please pardon me. I want to make sure that we have a good thing going. Give me 1 second. I want to reset that. Okay, thank you. Thank you for waiting. My apologies. I restarted the internet, because usually if I have like an issue with that, it's probably better just to restart it. So, shall we continue? So I said, Spectrum Internet is garbage, guys. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Terrible internet service. Get yourself a better if you can. Most streamers have pointed it out how terrible it is. Shall we continue? Shall we? Shall we? What were we doing? We're going to fight Kragnor. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Armor reduces your damage taken against all enemies. Nice. Keep going. I gotta cast this lightning 2 times. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit quicker. Same strategy as before. We'll melt them. I could do, like, Torment 11, but it's not gonna be fast and efficient for the farming. I want to do a war plan first, and then we're going to start farming some bosses for some keys. See if we get some dropped. Some people claim that the seasonal boss has been nerfed. I'm going to test that out in Fury and see if that is true. Do we not have keys for this? Okay, we do have keys, I was about to say. He's going to get melted, almost certainly. Come on. Come on. Come on. We got a shield too. He's about to go down. Come on. Nice, 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 nice. Let me jump so I can get out of the way there. Melted. Get wrecked, loser. Good job. Open the key. Probably we're not going to get any significant loot at this point. We can actually mostly avoid most stuff at this point. I have to put a loot filter on. I never do. Because I'm lazy like that. Don't be lazy like Dreadknights. Actually put loot filters on, especially so you don't have to look at a whole bunch of insignificant loot all the time you do these runs. Alright, let's go to another pit run. The reason I'm doing this, to upgrade the glyphs, war plans, to upgrade any plans that we have whatsoever too. All those things become particularly useful. Make sure I unmuted myself. So, I do have a tendency sometimes, I don't know if other people have had this, where like, you mute your mic and then you forget to unmute it. I'm paranoid. There have been streams in the past when I used to do a lot of more Twitch TV, where I would mute the mic and nobody would tell me that my mic was muted, which is like one of the most annoying things that can happen when you're actually streaming, and nobody tells you. It's happened to me before. I think there was like a My Friendly Neighborhood stream that I did way back for like the demo. And the whole 2 hours, it was like, you know, embarrassing streamer moments, right? And the whole stream, I was muted. So it was just the gameplay. No, I'm there with the model, I'm talking and yapping. Nobody tells me that I'm muted. So I did a 2 hour stream where it's just the gameplay of it for the demo. My Friendly Neighborhood That's actually a pretty good game. I would recommend it if anybody is into like old school, kind of like Resident Evil-like games. It's not a very long game. It's only $30. I only played the demo. I watched other people play like the rest of the game because I've always waited for it to go on sale because I didn't feel it's like a wait till sale type of game, but it never goes on sale for anything lower than like $24. And I gotta be honest with you, the game is not that long. There's like replayability in the game, I suppose, if you want to go through harder difficulties, but it don't feel like it's really worth anything. Sorry, Dev. I think it's a good game, but I don't think it's worth the $30 price tag. I think if you could pick it up on sale for something for around, I don't know, maybe $10 or so, that's probably more bang for your buck. You know, like when it comes to me with video games, particularly when I do decide to make purchases for certain things, I generally will either get a AAA title very sparingly. Sometimes I'll get them when they're like on a super big Steam discount. Sometimes I don't jump into things right away unless it's a game that I know I'm going to be playing like forever. Case in point, it's obvious I was going to play a lot of Diablo 4, so obviously I got the base game, I do have the expansion, and for the most part, the expansion, I get most of my dollars worth. Like, there's this theory that you take a video game, right? And if you're going to buy a video game, you take a look at the price, and you have to ask yourself, is there enough content in the game that will warrant me getting $1 out of every amount? Let me rephrase that, excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied and twisted. Basically what you do is, like, if a game's $79.99, let's say, because that's kind of crazy, but there are video games now that are like that, what you do is you see how many hours you can get out of the game. If the game exceeds the amount of dollars in terms of hours that you can get in terms of the end game or stuff, then it's kind of worth it for you for that game, right? So, like, for example, everybody was, like, really pooping their brains over, what is it, Mecha Chameleon? Which I'm kind of very scared to touch at this point because they have, like, a whole bunch of malware and crap that's going on with it. Because, like, some modded maps, apparently there's malware and stuff. So, like, for Mecha Chameleon, you know that that's a game that you're probably going to play maybe with your friends for 2 weeks. Maybe you're going to use it for, like, streaming content, and you're never going to play it ever again. So the price tag of $5 there isn't necessarily bad, right? Because you're probably only going to get, what, maybe 5 hours of use out of it at best before you're going to, like, forget it and try to move on to the next one. So that's not bad. But then, like, a game, let's say Forza Horizon 6, which I did buy, it has a lot of content in the game, but the problem is, like, you have to invest so much time on the online multiplayer and fixing up cars, and there's going to be people who are wailing in that game for the DLC cars that perform better than a lot of the other cars, and there's people who can invest a lot of time just in nothing but racing. For me, it particularly wasn't a good purchase, right? Because I got maybe at best out of that game maybe 20 hours for a game that cost $69.99. Thankfully, I didn't pay for that game necessarily. It was actually something I used for a kind of a rebate check, you could say, that I had. Because I had done some jury duty, and they weren't going to, obviously, give me my actual, like, self-employed pay. So, what they do is, obviously, give you, like, what, $72? So I used the jury duty check for that. And that was how I got Forza Horizon. So it's like, I didn't really spend money on it, but I kind of did, and it wasn't really worth the amount of dollars that I spent on that. As opposed to Diablo 4, where, I mean, say what you want about the game state, I have, what, 112-ish, maybe a little bit higher at this point, hours for this season alone. That's not to mention the rest of the seasonal characters, so I've probably played, throughout the last 3 years that Diablo 4 has been out, I've probably played, I don't know, somewhere maybe at least 1,000 hours of this game. I'm saying that very loosely, it could be less, but it's not under 500 hours, so I've gotten way more than the amount of DLC and expansion packs pricing that it is asking for, right? So it's worth the $1 per hour value for this, in terms of this video game. But then there's other games where it's not. Like, I'll give you an example. I love the Resident Evil franchise, don't get me wrong. Resident Evil Remake 2, Remake 3, I didn't pick that up when it was new. I waited till Steam sale, because it was like $5 when I got it on Steam sale for a game that was charged originally $69.99. Why? Because I knew I was going to play the game for the story mode. I was going to speedrun to get the S tier item. I would stream it a couple times, which would probably be only 2 or 3 streams, and I would probably not really play it too much ever again. So again, I got way more of my dollar per hour value out of that game by waiting. That's the one thing I like about Steam, is you can just pick stuff up on Steam sales later down the road, like, and you don't spend a whole bunch of money, as opposed to like sometimes investing in these big AAA titles and then finding out that you spent a whole bunch of money on a game that you're not going to touch a lot of, or you'll ever touch again, or what happens if the game is bad. Like, don't get me wrong, but what was it? James Bond 007, right? How many people do you know are still playing that game? Most people bought it week 1 and then found out it wasn't a very good game. I kind of noticed from the trailer it was going to be bad, so I kind of stayed away from it. But, you know, if you pick it up on sale, it's fine. Like, if I had to give a game recommendation right now for anybody who's watching of a game that I think is kind of worth your money, but I would pick it up only on a sale. Anybody here is a fan of RoboCop? RoboCop Rogue City, it goes on sale frequently, the base game, for like $3. I think you could get the DLC version of it for cheaper. That's kind of worth your money, in my personal opinion. I would pick that up. It's pretty good. Alright, so I think we finished the war plan, so I'm going to move on to the main meat and potatoes today, which is we're going to burn a whole bunch of keys that I saved off a stream, to be able to just kind of buff our character a little bit more. How's stream quality for you guys looking over your phone? Looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to burn a whole bunch of these keys, fight the boss multiple times, hopefully get a couple of mythics. Even if we don't get mythics, we're hoping to get a whole bunch of sparks so that we can roll a mythic unique ring. So this is the part of the session that's going to be kind of repetitive, but it's necessary. Unfortunately, Season 14 mostly is about farming one particular boss, hoping it drops a bunch of mythics that you need, and rinse, recycle, repeat, which a lot of our content creators have complained about this for this feedback loop. And I'd be okay if there was like a whole bunch of bosses that you could do this for, and you would get the fragments, but no, because they're pandemonium fragments, you can only get it at this boss. And this boss gets kind of boring to fight non-stop. I have 36 keys. Do you know how many times I'm going to probably be fighting this? You use 1 key to be able to use. People have said that this boss is harder. I don't think that is the case. I think that was actually easier than the pit boss right now. Some people are saying in the update it got harder. I don't think so. Maybe in Tournament 12-ish. We're not there just yet with this seasonal character. My other character that you saw on Monday stream, Venturing Shot, was doing T12 content. This is my second seasonal character, for those of you who don't know. Alright, no mythics there. That kind of makes me sad. I was kind of expecting that. What are you going to do about it, Cry? Nope. Let's keep farming. Anybody who's familiar with WoW knows you just gotta farm bosses a whole bunch, right? That's basically what they've kind of done with Diablo 4, which I don't like, is they've taken that mechanic of WoW, where you're just farming bosses over and over again for mounts. Instead of mounts, we're farming it over and over again for, like, endgame gear. And it's only one boss that's really dropping it significantly, which I don't know if this is a good state for the game moving forward. Hopefully they fix it in Season 15. Because again, there's going to be times where I can't really pick up a lot of this garbage to like put in the corner of shame. And then it just takes up time of farming, having to move all this junk around just to be able to get to the actual box. No mythics there. I wasn't really expecting one. This is the corner of shame, Dreadknights. We're going to put all the shameful loot that I don't need, which is basically everything at this point, here in the corner. This is the corner of shame. Is this ancestral? No, it's not. We do need to upgrade to that pants, too, just to take our build to T12. Corner of shame. Pick up some of this other stuff that I'm not really going to need. Okay, that should be enough. Let's go fight another boss. Rinse, recycle, repeat. Corrupted Reaper. Now, the Corrupted Reaper, for those of you who don't know, is a throwback to Diablo 3. Diablo 3, the final fight in the game, spoiler alert, even though this game's been out, what, 13 years, Diablo 3 at this point, if not more? So is it really a spoiler if the game has been out for more than 10 years? The final boss in the final expansion of Diablo 3 was Mephiel. Mephiel, for those of you who don't know, or Mayfiel, some people call him as well, is the Reaper of Souls, who's basically the Grim Reaper, and what he wanted to do was stop the eternal conflict by becoming the god of everything. So he used the Soul Stone that had the prime evils that were trapped in it, as well as the lesser evils. So we're talking Baal, Lord of Destruction, the Lord of Terror, Diablo himself, and the Lord of Hatred, Mephisto, plus Asmodon, I forgot, who else was it? Baal, and there was one other lesser one that I forget now that he's like super inconsequential the whole plot. And basically they were all trapped in the Soul Stone, and he absorbed it. When you kill him, Mephiel that is, in the events of Diablo 3, it releases the evil back into hell. So then an eternal conflict just starts all over again. It's dumb. I mean, Diablo games really, their story is questionable in their later games. Diablo 2 story is great. Diablo 3 story is kind of okay, for the exception of Leia never gets justice in it, and they killed Decker Kane off of basically not even in a cutscene. An iconic character like Decker Kane, how do you do him dirty like that? That always kind of made me angry. As well as so many other Diablo players. Like, I hope one day, they probably aren't going to do it, but I hope we get like a Diablo 3 Resurrected, and they are like change up the story. I would play a Diablo 3 Resurrected if they announced it at BlizzCon. I don't think that's going to be the case. If I had to take a guess of what we're probably going to see, probably they're going to promote the next expansion. I think they'll give like a teaser and then say it's coming in like late 2027, and if it's not coming in late 2027, why wasn't I casting my lightning here? What they'll probably do is they'll try to push it with like a pre-order sale, and it'll probably be something like the Amazon class is back, because they're like to be bringing old classes back. Because as much as I'd love to see the Demon Hunter back at this point, we ain't gonna see the Demon Hunter, which is unfortunate. You know, I would love to see it back. Demon Hunter, one of my favorite classes from D3. Another favorite class of mine from D3 would be the Witch Doctor. I kind of like the Witch Doctor. Some people hate them. I thought Angry Exploding Chicken build was pretty funny. Some people don't actually take my humor that way and don't like it. There's technically an Exploding Chicken build now in Diablo 4. You can use like a particular setup. It's not great. It's not like really angry chickens. It's kind of like in the vein of it. I don't need any of this. Well, Tilbolts, we're going to hold on to it. I was hoping for an ancestral version of it at the very least. Not good. Not good. Not good. Hold on to that. 3 of these Tilbolts will, and none of them are useful. Because it needs to be ancestral at this point. Everything else is just garbage at this point for us. Alright. Let's go back in. Gonna farm this boss until we run out of keys. Got a lot of keys that we're gonna have to burn through. I have 31 keys. This might take us the whole stream. I kid you not. But this is how you get good quote-unquote loot. Let's do this. It's gonna melt quicker because I have the Grizzly Rage. I'm not really afraid. The Corrupted Reaper can't kill me, but she is a nod to Mephiel. So I'm assuming probably at some point, either the next expansion, if not the next season, they're going to be like, hey, Mephiel is back and you'll have to fight him and for his plan yet again. But they will probably not be able to explain how the hell the Angel of Death was able to resurrect. Still no mythics. Still no mythics. What's the point in that? Make it make sense? Okay, I guess we're going to have to put more of this in the Corner of Shame. Is there anything I can drop in the Corner of Shame? This is why you put a loot filter. Tilbolts will. Garbage, garbage. Somebody might be happy with the pole arm. That's not me. Garbage, garbage. Any decent rings? Nope. Diablo 4 in a nutshell. A whole bunch of loot that doesn't really do anything for you. So how's everybody? What have you been up to? I read a very interesting story on, ironically, X. So how many of you are fans of Home Alone? Apparently, Home Alone has a new movie that's been pitched to it. So, Macaulay Culkin himself went to Disney and apparently pitched a new Home Alone film that's going to be kind of like a soft reboot. So, for those of you who don't know, his plot storyline is that a divorced dad, either that or he's a widowed dad, gets locked out of the house by his son. And the son sets a whole bunch of traps for the dad trying to break into the house. And apparently Macaulay Culkin is using it as symbolism to say that the house and all the traps are metaphor for the strained relationship between the father and son. Now, I'll give him credit for the symbolism, but does anybody really want to see a Home Alone reboot where Kevin McAllister, who is the master of traps, can't actually get through a whole bunch of traps that his son set? That doesn't sound like a good film to me. And here's the other thing, too, right? Why does somebody make it make sense to me? Why is it that, like, we can't just have new films in movies? Why does everything have to be a soft reboot? Why does everything have to be a, you know, a sequel of a sequel? Why can't we have original films anymore? I'm tired of watching remakes of remakes and soft sequels that are soft reboots of films. Like, we've gotten to that point in Hollywood where there's really no original ideas. I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of young screenwriters that have original scripts that Hollywood refuses to just greenlight, which is kind of crazy because when you look at some of the stuff with, like, what is it, Iron Lung, which was basically, for all intents and purposes, a YouTuber made a film based on a video game adaptation that did better than most of the films that are out now. And when you also have what's the other one that came out? The Backrooms, which was pretty good. That was also, if I'm not mistaken, done by a YouTuber. You have YouTubers remaking video game things into films, and they're doing incredibly well. And are, like, writing good stories. We have a problem in Hollywood, right? At least that's how I look at it, but network executives want to push the Avengers. Network executives want to push, like, a whole bunch of book adaptations of books that people have never read nor care about. You know, it's like, why can't we have original movies? Why does everything have to be an adaptation right now? Back in the day, it wasn't like that. Yeah, we had our remakes every once in a while, but, you know, that's the thing, too. Like, I don't know about anybody else, you know, even though, despite the fact that I was thrilled from some of the offerings at Comic-Con, I'm so burnt out on, like, Marvel superhero films at this point, and DC superhero films at this point, and they never can live up to the expectations. They're never good. I'm gonna back out of the game, and I'm gonna come back into it because we have too much loot. I just don't want to have to go back and forth picking stuff up. So we'll back out. That's a little bit easier than doing all that junk that's being dropped. But for, like, me, I don't care. I don't want to see another Avengers movie necessarily. I'll go to watch it because it's gonna tell the Secret Wars plot, and Doom might be okay, but I know they're gonna take several liberties with that, but I'm tired of that. I like Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. I think Brand New Day is going to be a very fun and entertaining movie. But I've seen that plot already. I've read that plot. I'm a comic book fan. I collect comic books. I read comic books. I can tell you all those stories and how they play out. You know, even if they take several liberties with it, it's, like, not interesting to me. I don't want to see more Superman films. I've seen enough of them at my point. You know what? I don't want to see more Godzilla films unless it comes from Toho, Japan. You know, King Kong? Okay, cool. I've seen enough of King Kong at this point. Do we really need, like, 7 Godzilla and King Kong team-ups? Don't get me wrong, Supernova is probably going to be entertaining. But do we need it? No. Why can't we get a Diablo movie, right? Why can't we get a Diablo movie? Why can't we get, like, I don't know. When's the last time there's been a good horror film? Dreadknights. I remember Good Boy. Good Boy was pretty original in terms of plot. Why can't we get, like, a good horror film that's not trying to rip off Five Nights at Freddy's because Five Nights at Freddy's did a whole bunch of money at the box office? Huh? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Why does everything have to be our stuff, man? I miss the days when movies were original, you know? Like, growing up. Growing up, we had, like, a lot of original films that came out. Yeah, they got sequels afterwards, but, you know, when I was growing up... Oh, God. Dread is going on one of these tirades now. When I was growing up, like, Child's Play was getting really big. Like, Child's Play 2 had come out. And, like, anybody back then who had, like, a My Buddy doll was utterly freaking terrified. I was freaking terrified of my freaking My Buddy doll. Because, like, Chucky, you know, that was, like, a realistic fear for little boys growing up back in that time period. Of having their doll come to life and trying to claim their soul and kill them. I had to get rid of My Buddy because I was traumatized, and I had a family member that told me that my Buddy doll was going to come to life in the middle of the night and, like, kill me. I had to get rid of the doll because I was terrified of it. In fact, I couldn't even watch Child's Play, and this is a true story. Like, I couldn't watch it till, like, the very, very late, like, what was it? 90s? Late 90s. I couldn't watch a Child's Play movie because I was so terrified of Chucky. Ironically, now I actually enjoy the franchise, but, you know, back then, like, Chucky was unique because, like, the concept of a doll coming to life and trying to kill you or steal a boy's soul, that was original. RoboCop, although was pretty original for its time period, RoboCop 2 sucks. So, we got at least a nemesis layer here. RoboCop 2 is terrible. RoboCop 3 is atrocious also. The first one's really good. If you can, especially if you can find the unrated version, because they do have it, I think, on, like, DVD? Blu-ray? Well, most people don't buy Blu-rays, DVDs anymore. I don't think they have it on streaming services. To me, Knights, you're about to get wrecked by the great and powerful Dreadscape Gaming, but I don't have good poison resistance here, so I gotta be careful. Got him. But nothing good in terms of the loot still. How many keys have we wasted trying to get... I mean, I'm all mythic'd out at this point, too. Why can't you be a Tilt's Will? Why? I need it, I want it, I deserve it. Alright, Ancestral Helm, we'll pick it up. Everything else can stay on the ground. There's a whole bunch of players right now that are probably watching the stream or watching the VOD, and they're screaming at me because I'm just dropping loot and like, I don't need this. Next. I don't need this. No. I don't need this. Next. But yeah, like, Child's Play was a good franchise when it started out. Nightmare on Elm Street, when it came out, was a pretty good concept. I don't think we had way too many Freddy films, though. I had to watch them on, like, television, though. It's not... I wasn't around for them when they came, most of them, to the movie theaters. Friday the 13th. At least the original ones. Like, that was back then, before they became sequels. That was pretty good. I always say, like, I'm from a time period that was very fortunate because we didn't have to deal with some of, like, the nonsense that people in this day and age... Like, everything was truly original. We used to go outside and play with our friends. When we had to play video games with our besties, we would have to go over to their house and either drag our computer for a LAN party. And if we didn't have to drag our computer for a LAN party, the other thing that we would have to do is, like, we would take our N64 or our games and our extra controllers to our friend's house to actually play, like, multiplayer in WWF No Mercy or GoldenEye and stuff of that nature. For Dreamcast, bring our Dreamcast over with our games and extra controllers and just actually play the video games. Now, in this day and age, you try to get your friends to play a video game with you. Nah, fam. We could just play that online. Maybe a lot of us don't want to play the game online with our friends. Maybe we like the whole aspect of actually socializing with our friends, right? I've told the story on stream before. I hate Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel right now, right? It's in a terrible game state. Did I get the Theobald's Will? No. I don't think I have that. Can't really use it in this build. Can I get it again? Please? The pants that I actually want for my role? That's not it. Great. No useless player pants. Can I get it now? Do I have enough crafting materials? That's why I'm farming the boss for. Can I get it, please? Nope. Garbage. Great. So, I don't think I have that, so I'll save that. I have a bunch of these. I don't need it. I think I have one of those. I don't need it, and I can't use it. We'll double check. Yeah, I have a Taslet, so... This is garbage that I can't use. Lovely. Welcome to Diablo 4. Season 14. The season of bad loot. Got one of these. Let's put the pants in here. Since I don't have it, we'll keep it for collection in case for a rainy day. Although I doubt I'll actually use it at that point. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. No point. What other rings do we have here that I'm probably not going to use at the moment? Get rid of that. I'm not gonna keep more pairs of pants. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that either. Don't need that either. Looting never ends, Shred Knights. Is there a way for me to go back through here so I don't have to pick up the rest of this junk? I'm not gonna pick that up. It's not worth it. Let's go over here, ignore these enemies. Let's see if we can... Oh, I can't get out of the Nemesis portal from here? Oh, I can. I was about to say, I know I can. Almost 100% sure I can do that, right? No, I can't. You really make me have to do this from this menu? Fine. More boss farming Dread Knights. Check OBS here a second. Be right back. Thank you. Sorry. I wanted to double check something and make sure we're fine. Nothing really significant there. Alright, shall we? We got a lot more that we gotta farm. Get rid of this. Don't need that. Alright, let's get the Pandemonium Altar again. Pass that. Pass that. Pass that again. Why? Because the lightning's quicker. Nice. Use the wolf. I might change the wolf passive so I can get like 2 more points into Grizzly Rage. Just so we can get a little bit more damage output. Reaper's Horde. Hey, we got a mythic to drop. It might be the ring I need. Then basically we'll have everything our heart desires. Well, most of the stuff our heart desires, at least. Is it the one I need? No, it isn't. I got excited for nothing. Cry about it, right? Throw this in the corner. Throw this in the corner. Throw this in the corner. Garbage. Throw this in the corner. Yeah. Garbage. Garbage. I mean, for wizards it's great, but not for the build that I'm using right now. What is this? The pit. Let's do that. Can I not do that while I'm in here? Okay, fascinating. Well, in the words of a Teletubby, again. Or, what we could do... Hold back for it. Nice. Okay, good. Goodbye. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Open sesame. Open salami. Open swami. Hey, another mythic! But it's probably something I already have. Unfortunate. Unless it's a melted heart, that would be kind of good. We had so far today 2 mythic drops. Not bad, but we had what, 32 keys? So maybe they've improved the drop rate at least on it. Can't really complain too much about that. just want to not pick up pants right now. Unless it's something I'm gonna try to roll for the Cobalt's Will. Okay, let's go. Alright, good. These guys seem fine. Let's continue to take this enemy out. Nice. Goodbye. Next. I can't get to the box, it's blocked. Mythic, 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 mythic. Nothing. Couple boots. Corner of shame. Don't need that. Definitely gonna drop that. Gonna drop that. Drop that. I'm gonna hold on to the rings for now. It's not gonna make a bunch of sense. Alright, let's go. We ain't done till we have no more keys left. Superior keys. Okay, good. Let's use this. I messed up. There's a skill issue on my part here. Sorry, today, like, is a little bit harder to get for me because I'm, like, uber focused on trying to get the right stuff that I need for this build. You know, like I said, been okay. I've been kind of going through a bit of a burnout, as I have mentioned before. It's like content creator burnout. It's not like depression. Because I think, like, somebody misunderstood last night. And when I said I was, like, on burnout, they thought, like, I was going through, like, depression or I was sad. That's not the case. I'm just kind of burnt out in terms of, like, content creation. Because I'm at, like, a point where I've been mostly-ish kind of sort of keeping to myself. And I've been popping in, like, maybe seldomly to certain things going on in, like, VTuber land. Just because, like, there's been a bunch of stuff that's kind of been mentally draining for me. And it's not like I'm trying to vague post, because I know that probably was something that was mentioned recently. Like, I'm not vague posting when I say that. It's just, like, stuff I can't really talk about, because it's, like, you know? So, you know, I've just kind of been a bit burnt out with content creation at the moment, which is why I'm, like, playing a lot more of Diablo lately, because Diablo's, like, a comfort game for me, and the fact that, like, I want to be for real with you. Like, when I play Diablo, I know it's only going to bring in a certain type of audience, and most people are not going to come here to watch a Diablo 4 stream. So, it's a way, it's kind of like a keep-away game for me, because I kind of just, like, know and stuff, so I could just, like, have fun, too, and do stuff, like... Yeah, I'm trying to find the joy in streaming again, I guess you could say. Because I don't kind of have that joy just, like, right now, if it makes sense for some people. Maybe it doesn't. Because I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff, right? Like, it's not even, like, necessarily negative stuff, it's just, like... conflicts. Conflicts, I guess, is the best way to put it. It's not, like, really... You know, it's conflicts that... I don't know. It's stuff that I guess needs to be discussed at some point. But I just haven't had a way to really discuss it. And I haven't really wanted to make... I don't know. What's the best way to put it into words? A situation that's kind of messy at the moment, even more messy. And, like, now's not the time, really, to discuss it. I guess is the best way to put it. So that's kind of contributing to some of the content creator burnout. But the other thing too is, like, I want to play games that I'm interested in playing. Let me go back into stream here a minute, OBS, so we can talk about. So I, like, want to play games that I'm interested in playing in, and as some people have noticed, like, the last couple days, the internet has been kind of wonky here, which makes kind of trying to get my streams to be nice and smooth, particularly on the YouTube end, a little bit draining on my side. You know, I don't like to have to keep looking over at my phone, and on my phone it's like everything seems okay, and then I turn away, and then it's like, well, what happened here? So those things have been kind of mentally draining in terms of, like, content creation. Like, when I'm on Twitch, I don't have a problem lately, but when I'm on YouTube, like, YouTube is, like, non-stop problems. Like, case in point, Alright, thank you for waiting. like I was saying before, like, you know, so that's been kind of a lot of content creator burnout, because one of the things is to make content, you need your internet to work on it. Usually the internet's fine, but I don't know, lately the summer has been causing a lot of issues. I came, like, I was away for a while, and I come back, I was like, oh, it was kind of working just fine when I left, so there shouldn't necessarily be a problem. But like I said, anybody who watches, like, Doobie streams knows, because Doobie's been having, like, similar issues with their internet lately. I've been having, like, the same type of problems, particularly more on the YouTube end, not so much in the Twitch end. I don't know. I guess Doobie probably has, like, the same internet service that I have. I'm not a friend of Doobie's, keep that in mind. Just mentioning it because I do watch Doobie from time to time. I know that's kind of shocking, probably, to some people. So yeah, you know, there's just been a lot of content creator burnout because of that, and there's specific games I want to play. I know there's a lot of people who have been fighting me on the games that I want to play. Like, well, if you want to play this game, we don't want to watch you play this game. You know, people prefer I play Master Duel. I want to play Master Duel. And then there's, like, people who want me to. I gotta reconnect to Diablo. Why are we reconnecting to Diablo? I hope I don't have to reset the game. I need to leave and see if hopefully the game doesn't crash. If the game crashes, this stream might be over then. Guess what? It crashed. I hate when it crashes because then it causes encoder issues on OBS. Let's see if we can get back into it. Plus, I have to wait now like 5 minutes. Yeah, so that's, like, been kind of like the headaches I've been dealing with, you know, in terms of content creation. Because there's certain games I want to play, right? I want to play Diablo 4 and I want to enjoy looting. I want to play my Diablo games and enjoy that. And there's some people who would prefer to have me just playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel makes me miserable to play. There's not really hello windows. There's not really a way to put it around here. I don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I don't want to play that. And I don't want to play, like, new video games that everybody's playing. I'm not interested in playing any of those games. Those games are not fun for me to play. Because I mostly don't have interest in playing them. Like, I had people who were trying to get me to play, as I mentioned before. Game will hopefully come back up. I don't know. There's been people who've been trying to get me to play Mecha Chameleon. I don't want to play Mecha Chameleon, especially after I find out that there's all those, like, malware issues that the game has had recently. Like, I don't enjoy that. So I've kind of been avoiding playing that for a while. And then there's, like, our people that want me to, like, do some collab stuff with them, and I'm just kind of not really in a collab mind state right now. It has nothing to do with the content creators themselves. It's just, like, I don't really feel like... Does it make sense? I don't know how many people that stream will probably be able to understand this, but I don't really want to socialize with our VTubers right now. Like, on stream. You know, I don't want to play, like, a game that I don't have any interest in playing, because it'll make for, like, a good collab for everybody else except me. And that's kind of how I feel like lately, you know? So it's like, people hit me up to play something that I like to play, and it's a little bit different, but that's lately been what it is. Like, Mecha Chameleon, we need Mecha Chameleon. It's like, I don't want to play Mecha Chameleon. I don't have any interest in Mecha Chameleon. And then it's like, oh, well, you used to play a lot of Fortnite, how about we play some Fortnite now? And it's like, I don't want to play Fortnite either. Like, I saw the new season for Reloaded, which is Simpsons season. I might jump back into it, but, you know, like, I don't want to I'm just, like, in a mindset right now where I don't want to, like, collab. And I'm kind of tired of that, like, there's that VTuber mentality that you have to collab with a whole bunch of people. Or they have to play, like, I don't know, the newest game all the time, or newest craze, or... I think another part of, like, my burnout lately is that, like, I'm not, like, a super over-the-top person. Like, sometimes I will be over-the-top, and I have my funny moments. But most of the time I like to play, like, serious games and just speedrun through things. And it's been a bit of a challenge, as well as dealing with, like, YouTube algorithm. I don't want to make it seem like it's the algorithm thing and blame the algorithm, but in a way it is. Anybody who's, like, normally a viewer of my channel for years knows I had a certain amount of viewers from a certain type of content that I did, and unfortunately there's nothing you could do in that video game anymore, because, like, Diablo 3, you can't do anything. The game has run its course at this point, Dreadknights. So, like, I can't do more Diablo 3 content. I don't like to be a React Andy, because I feel like that's lazy, boring content to do. So, what is the great and powerful Dreadscape Gaming supposed to do at that point? There's not really much I can do besides play the games I want and just kind of hope that YouTube is in my favor sometimes. Like, I'll give another example, like YouTube right now just wants to make YouTube Shorts. I almost cursed there, which kind of shows the burnout, like when I actually want to almost get to the point of wanting to curse on stream about stuff. Like, I don't like making YouTube Shorts. I have no interest in being a YouTube Shorts content creator. I hate it. It's why I don't make TikToks. I don't like short form content. It doesn't interest me personally. I don't watch short form content even, because I just don't like that stuff. I'm not from that time period. I'm from the time period where you watch like funny cat videos on YouTube, among other things. Like, that's not interesting to me, I guess is the best way to put it. So why would I want to make stuff that doesn't interest me as a viewer, right? And that's been kind of like the battle that's been going on lately in terms of content creation, is that I have a lot of people, not people necessarily, like, it's more viewers as well as just like fighting YouTube itself, that want me to do content the way that I don't want to do it. And that's kind of like making me, from a content creator perspective, burnt out, because I don't want to do that stuff. And if I have to do that stuff, I like not make content, I guess, if that's like makes sense to anybody. And unfortunately I kind of maybe in a way have shot myself in the foot, so to speak, not IRL but just in terms of content creation, because I got people accustomed to me doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel stuff, and I just wanted to do it once in a while, and then people got like really into it and then expected me to do it all the time. Just like when I did the movie watch along stuff, where I just kind of was watching a movie and then breaking it apart using my film degree and stuff. And the thing about it too is, like, I already do that for the most part for a living. I don't really want to do the same things that I do for a living IRL for like stream, because then it's like, well, I just do that anyway in IRL. I might as well just work freaking overtime, if you get what I'm saying, right? You know? So it's been a bit of a thing trying to just kind of figure out what I really want to do, like with the channel at this point, and like really what I want to do even like in terms of VTubing too, because like I'm kind of at this point where I kind of don't even really feel like VTubing anymore. I know, right? Like, I could just be a guy with a voice like I was back way back in the day, and it would like have basically a better result where I don't have to worry about like the mythical, because there'll be people who get mad at me for saying this, but it is really the truth. The male VTuber debuff. Why do that when I could just be a voice? I know there's a lot of other people that'd be like, well, Dread, you're not an ugly person, for those who've actually seen me. In that one or two things I've done. Why don't you just use your IRL face? The reason for that, why I don't use my IRL face, which is why I actually do VTubing, is the fact that the stuff that I do in terms of work and stuff, would not be happy with me being a streamer. They wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't be happy with me showing my face and stuff, because it kind of puts them at conflict, right? I've mentioned why. Most people who know me very personally know why I don't do it. And that's why there's also... what's the best way to put it? This is also why there's been a bit of conflict regarding one or two things with me and somebody I was cool with, because they don't kind of grasp the concept that like IRL me cannot be dragged into like VTubing world for stuff. So like for me, I get like very concerned when something can be potentially doxable for me at IRL, right? Because, you know, people know what I do in terms of the like gaming scope if you really know me very well, and like some of the consultant stuff that I do too. And it's like I get linked back to VTubing, and then other things, it just becomes a bit of a headache. And then it'll be like, well, you know, this person that was crapping on our game, and then it comes back to me, right? Like, I'll give you kind of an example of something I'm talking about. There was a Insatiable Fury. It's kind of... Some people would be very happy with that. There was like a situation where somebody was doing a sponsored stream for a card game that I have played, and I've talked about this before. The boss in particular knows the people at Konami. I judged under them for Konami. I was a judge for many years. I do know Farfa. He doesn't know me as Shred, but he knows me as the boss. Farfa's part of the judge program. I know Kevin Tour and I know Julia Heidberg. So having somebody that's like, please let me win, and saying that they kind of didn't like the game, does kind of fall back on the boss then, because the boss would be like, that's the boss's friend, right? And then it comes back and it's like, boss, you, this is your friend and they're talking bad about this game and they were representing us. We're not happy about that. Didn't you vouch for them? It comes back to me like that. Like, that's just an example of it. So then it's like, that's why it's like I don't like Shred to be linked to him, because stuff like that can kind of happen, and I'm concerned that then it will affect more of my clients and people that I work with and people that also ask me sometimes if it's a good idea to pair up with certain content creators or not. So that's why it's a bit of an... I was a bit miffed at something because it was like, almost directly linked to a personal thing that links Shred to boss. I don't think the person really understood why I was trying to, like, distance it. Because I'm pretty sure they meant well, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had time to talk to them. And I just have tried to... Now's, like, not the time to talk to the person I want to talk to. Because they've got their own stuff going on. And I'm trying not to, like, you know... I don't want my stuff getting messed up. I don't want their stuff, you know, that they're busy working on and presenting distraction, I guess is the best way to put it. If that makes sense. That's a lot of content creator burnout for different reasons. It's more really on the back end of sides, as opposed to, like, I enjoy streaming. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing video games. I enjoy yapping it up. But it's gotta be, like, games I like, and I gotta, like... This person is really annoying me. What are you doing, SNG? Go away, man. Like, man, this person's kind of pissed me off so much at this point that I'm just gonna move up a tournament level so I don't have to see them anymore. Alright. That might make the boss fight harder, but it's fine. We'll get better mythic loot. Yeah, you know, there's that. And again, I'm not, like, vague posting because I want to vague post. It's just because I can't really say as much as I'd like to say. Because I'm not, you know, I'm not mad at the person either, keep that in mind. I just had to use it as an example. You know, let's put this here. This here. And it's kind of funny, right? Because then people will be like, wait, but you've done stuff with Konami, then why can't you get stuff like changed with the band list? They don't listen to anybody. Like, the TCG side does listen to the player base, but like for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, that comes from OCG. That comes from the Japanese side of Konami, and they base their list based on, like, the OCG ban list and stuff. And, like, I'll be honest with you, unless, like, a lot of their profits go down, which their player count's gone down, but they still have their whales that whale all the time for them. They're not going to change anything with the game unless, like, there's not money being made for them, if you get what I'm saying. So, like, for example, I'm going to see if I can probably get a different lobby back in now Tournament 9, because 10, I can do it, but I don't want to do it just yet. The reason for that, again, is, like, the whales just spent a whole bunch of money in Master Duel to the point that, like, as long as the whales, like, Jesse Cotton and Joshua Smith and many of our big content creators keep spending a whole bunch of damn money on the game, which shows that the profits are up even if the player count is going down, nothing will change in terms of the game mechanics for Master Duel. You'll just get Band-Aid list that will continue to push out new products. The only time really Konami, when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, ever does something impactful with their ban list is when like people truly stop playing the game. I'll give you an example. When Yu-Gi-Oh very first started, which is what, 25, 30 years ago at this point, they had no ban list whatsoever. But then what ended up happening was the game became dominated by one deck, the Invasion and Chaos deck. So it was Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Emperor Dragon, Dark Magician of Chaos, the original one. And basically the combo was that you would get Chaos Emperor Dragon out on the field with a Sangan. You would make sure that your opponent had been Delinquent Duo'd. And then on top of like Delinquent Duo, what you would do is you would use I forgot what it was called, but it's Delinquent Duo, Forceful Century, everything that would basically do stuff to not have in hand. You would blow up Chaos Emperor Dragon. They have no hand, they wouldn't be able to play the game because Yatagarasu, when it pecks you, says you can't draw a card. And that's basically all it does. So the purpose of it was to intentionally lock you, and that became the only deck that people would use for any tournament in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's why the ban list got created, because the ban list back then, the point of it was not to sell the game product, but the point of it was to prevent people from leaving the game, because people would leave the game because Chaos was like the only dominant deck available then. And that's the whole reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel ban list originally was made, to actually balance the game. But unfortunately, as time progressed, and this is like around the 5Ds format, this is when it started, what ended up happening was Konami particularly shifted focus to making it much harder to get the cards, so they would print things in their American sets as secret rares. And secret rares, you maybe get one in a box, but you'd have to pull a whole bunch of them to get them. And they just saw the dollar signs, right? So then there became a point where instead of Konami balancing things in the ban list that were just broken and had no business in the game, what they ended up doing was they started developing ban lists to just sell newer product. And they began just a design philosophy in the game where they would just let decks power creep other decks and not really do anything to fix like the broken mechanics. So like a card like Maxi, the TCG side of it does understand that's a problem and it banned it, but then the OCG side of it doesn't see it as a problem, and because they print it in so many different structure decks that we don't have in America, but it always gets printed in the Japanese structure decks in Japan, that's why you see Maxi not get hit in the ban list of Master Duel, because it follows the OCG list. That's why you'll see other things that like get banned, that are banned in TCG, that don't get banned like in the OCG, because Master Duel doesn't follow the TCG list, it follows the OCG list. And that's what has kind of, they don't realize from the Japanese side and the Japanese offices how much damage they've done to Yu-Gi-Oh! As an actual collective game. Instead, we just have a whole bunch of players. I'll go into the dungeon, I want to finish this thought. We have a whole bunch of people that are playing, that are making decisions at Konami for the ban list in Master Duel, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! That are doing it based on just trying to sell the next pack and not fixing main overlying issues of game balance and too many special summons and omni negate boards and stuff. And it's causing a lot of players to leave the game. It's just causing many game players to leave the game in drove. And in Master Duel, it's kind of the same thing, but the problem is because here you have whales, they're still whaling, they're making them money, they're not going to fix it. So I hate to say, like, the solution to the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to not play the game, but, like, really with Master Duel, it would, a lot of people would have to stop playing the game. A lot of people would have to stop, like, buying packs. A lot of people would just have to stop, like, playing in the events, grind the gems for that time period. And probably even content creators would have to stop making content on the game for Master Duel for any, like, really significant change to actually happen in that game. And will that happen? No, because most content creators that just, like, rely on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel are gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, right? Because that's their bread and butter, and they'll spend the money and whatever. So that's why, like, a lot of video games don't get fixed. Ironically, because we can segue this into Diablo 4. The reason why Diablo 4, particularly Blizzard, has been doing a lot of fixes for this season is because a lot of content creators have been refusing to play the game and have been outwardly spoken that if some of these changes weren't fixed, that they would just like drop Diablo entirely from the game. That kind of shows you, for all intents and purposes, the difference between the Diablo fan base and Blizzard players as opposed to stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel players. When Diablo players want something to be fixed, they don't log into the game and they let it be known that they don't like the changes that are being made to their game. And they will do things as far as to like just not play the game and not stream the game and not give like any rub whatsoever to Blizzard in order to fix it. Which is why a lot of the stuff has gotten fixed in this season. That's why the cube recipe of the crafting limit for the blacksmith and the cube, and I guess the jeweler, although I haven't seen anybody really use the jeweler this particular, you know, season because of how much they've changed it. That's why everything this season has been changed so far, because there have been a lot of people complaining about it. There's another thing where players have been complaining about the amount of AoE cheap one-hit deaths that you can't see on the ground, and one of the community managers today did confirm that that is something that they're looking into and will potentially change in a patch in the future. I don't know if that means like Season 15 patch. I'd be shocked if we get another patch for this season Diablo 4. If they do that patch this season, I think it would probably help promote a lot more goodwill. But that's like the difference between people who play Diablo games and like people who play Master Duel games. This is why some communities stuff gets fixed, like Diablo, and to a lesser degree, that's why stuff in Dead by Daylight gets fixed, because content creators will stop playing a game when it's not good and will like boycott it and will be very active on media complaining about things, and it gets fixed because they won't buy stuff and it hits the profit lines. But then you have other games like Master Duel where people just continue to be part of the problem, and that's how nothing gets fixed. You want Master Duel to truly be fixed and actually be a fun game to play? Tell your content creators to stop playing it for a couple of weeks. Tell them don't buy stuff. See how quickly Konami will change then to actually fix the game. Until the game's actually fixed, like until they get like max C gone, until it like becomes a best of 2 out of 3 format, until they fix some of the predatory microtransactions, because not everything should be ultra rare, I refuse to touch the game. It's not worth my time. I'd rather have like 2 or 3 people here watching my Diablo 4 streams than having like a whole bunch of people in my streams being toxic and complaining about the game that nobody wants to play. The streamer doesn't want to stream. Just doesn't make sense. That's like one of the reasons. Like, I rather, and it goes back to like content creator burnout, I rather play a game and have like 2 or 3 people here and lurking and stuff than like streaming a game that I'm not enjoying and that's going to bring in like not the type of audience I'm looking for, which is kind of just why I've been going kind of back to basics, you could say. You know, I enjoy Diablo 4. I commend, for the most part, I really do commend Blizzard for fixing the things they have. Is it enough? No. I mean, I would personally, if it's me, if I'm gonna fix our things for this season, I don't think you can at this point. I would get rid of the Mythic Uniques and just keep the 12 iconic Mythics. I would maybe change the Mythic Uniques upgrades to like Primal or something and have a different loophole of it. But I, better than anybody, because I've spent so much time with developers talking and other things, know that that's the type of stuff you can't change right away. That's something that either you have to do a reversion, where you just roll back to the previous season, starting next season, add one mechanic, or that's something that will take multiple seasons to fix, depending on their direction. And you have to also remember, when it comes to games like Diablo, I know it might not seem like it, but Blizzard devs with the seasonal teams have a tendency to develop the seasons ahead of time, right? So, like, we're playing Season 14. I'm pretty sure they're already developing. Most of the Season 15's probably done, and they're probably looking at what people don't like to kind of make modifications to that. But I'm pretty sure they're already working on Season 16 at this point. The people who work on the seasonal content, by the way, for those of you who don't know, are not the same people who work on the actual expansion content. It's 2 completely different teams. So that's why, you know, for example, you'll have like a really amazing expansion that we had, like the Lord of Hatred expansion that did so much to actually make Diablo 4 good. And then you'll have like the seasonal group team. I don't want to call them the B team because I don't think that's fair to the developers, but they are the ones that come in and do like the seasonal content stuff, and they're the ones that develop for that. So I don't want to say most of the good developers, because that's not, I think every developer is good, and I think every developer means very well, and it's not very easy to make a video game. A lot of people don't realize how much stuff, because of unless you've done like consultant stuff, or unless you've actually worked in a video game or had input in it, you probably have no idea how these things get made. You know, so I understand that they're trying their best. Another thing that a lot of people are probably not going to grasp the concept of is that the developers have to develop the game based on the people on the top's want. So if the people on the top say, we want people playing this game a lot more because our hope is that we have them stay long enough so that they spend money in the item shop, they're forced to develop it that way. And until there's like a real big backlash, there's not much those developers can do. You know, if a developer, like the people on top say that they want this game a specific way, you know, the developers are just developing and trying to keep their job have to design it that way. They don't really have a choice in the matter. They're trying to keep their jobs, so they just gotta do what the people on top say. Like, I will say, I think a lot of the problems with Diablo 4 stemmed from the basic design, ideology, and philosophy that Rod Ferguson, who is no longer with the team, mind you, created. We got another mythic unique. It's a dagger. It's probably not a dagger I'm gonna need, but hey, we've gotten so far today. Oh, it's a chest piece, apparently. It's probably gonna be like a Tyrael's Might or Shroud of Full Stuff. It's a Tyrael's Might, I can tell you just by the silhouette. Well, we got an iconic mythic unique to drop from the lair boss, and it took about 15-ish keys, maybe? A little bit more than that. So they did up the chances of getting an iconic mythic unique from this boss, so there is significant changes in that department for it, so I do commend them. What am I going to do with Tyrael's Might, though? I kid you not, it is one of the worst iconic mythics before the nerf in the game. Like, I would like to see personally for Season 15 that they buff these iconic mythics, and that they become, like, significant, truly good upgrades to everything. Like, that's my hope. Like, that would be a good direction for it. Like, I would like to see Andariel's Visage get buffed, because Andariel's Visage would be great to get buffed. I'm gonna roll some of these, because I'm trying to get the ring. Like I said, that was the whole focus of today. I can't pick it up. I think I got the ring I need. Nope. Tried to get the ring he needs. Are you out of your mind? The ancestral ring. Let's get rid of... We gotta get rid of some stuff of our loot, right? Yeah. I think the next thing we'll do... I'm gonna grab the ring for now. I'm gonna ignore the other things. Thank you, whoever that was, for the follow, like, subscribe, wherever that was on YouTube or Twitch. I do greatly appreciate it. So we're gonna roll some rings again. This is basically what endgame for Season 14 is. You're just hoping to get a cube upgrade that is the actual mythic you want. That's not it. I've got an every other mythic ring except the one that I want. And it doesn't matter because, like, the ring you put in doesn't matter right now this season. Next season, whatever you put into the cube, when you upgrade it, it will be what you need. Let's try again. That's not it. That would have been great for my rogue that was the ice build for a while. We're in a whole bunch of mythics, but not the ring I need. I would not be shocked if we don't get this ring at all, despite the fact that we just rolled, what, 12 of them? Mother's Embrace, that's hilarious. That's one of the worst rings in the game. Let me put one in here if we have an arrow. Please be the one I need. Nope. Oh, man. Well, guess what? We're about to farm the boss a bazillion more times. Diablo 4 endgame for Season 14 in a nutshell. I don't know how, honestly, this even... And I don't mean this disrespectful, because I understand the developers are trying their best. I don't know who thought this was a good idea on paper. I'm gonna keep them just so I have, like, a collection of mythics. But, like, I can't do anything with this loot at this point. Like, there's no build right now in Diablo. Like, maybe if you're climbing, that would require you to have a mythic Mother's Embrace. It's, like, one of the worst rings in the game. Oh, jeez, man. I just can't with this game sometimes. I love looting and stuff, but... Oh man, some of the stuff in this game is just hilarious what happens. Flesh render. Hear a noise in the background, please burn that. I live in a noisy city, NYC. Time to time you'll hear emergency service providers pass through. We wish our emergency providers the very best in whatever emergency that they're responding to, and hopefully the person that called in the emergency is okay as well. You know? Hot, it's summer. People's ACs are blowing up, literally. People's power strips are going on fire. Change your power strips if you can. You know? People are getting heat strokes and stuff. It's sad. That's summer. See if we could get into another couple of runs of this. I have like so much loot that it's just garbage. Can I put a loot filter on, I wonder? Is it F, right? Is it F? Somebody in chat confirm? No, it's not F. How do I put a loot filter again? I don't want to see any of this garbage that's on the ground. Some people will be very happy with the garbage loot, not Dread. Uh-oh. What happened here? Excuse me? Okay. I had a brain fart, apparently. And this thing will drop down pretty quick. Or we could get lagged out. Let's see. Here? It's not gonna matter. It's gonna die quickly. Once I get a... Yeah. Give me a mythic. Gotta get rid of all this junk here so I can open it. Garbage loot again. I'm gonna pick some of the stuff up so we can move it over to the corner of shame. So I can just constantly not have to go back to base to get rid of this garbage. I mean, you know what would be great at some point? Also, like, I think once you get to a certain tournament level, you shouldn't see any more yellows drop whatsoever. I think that would be kind of a nice fix. It's like, again, most of the time, I know they're trying to push people to get like the cube crafting recipe, but I don't want to spend time doing this nonsense. Alright. It takes too much time away from looting. Okay. Just pop the ultimate. Nice, 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 nice. Good, good, good. Nice, nice, nice. Man, barely lasted anything. That's what she said. A terrible joke to me. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Every once in a while, Dread's got to make a funny unsay-so joke, right? Open here. More insignificant loot. I mean, we're getting a lot of uniques, but at this point, most of them are not going to do anything for us. Like, I can literally get rid of 95% of them and just keep, like, rings. Try to roll the item that I want. Get away. Get away. I'm gonna start dropping some of these other things, too, because I really don't need to keep carrying them. Alright, let's activate one more Pandemonium Altar. Cast again. I don't have Grizzly Rage up. If I did, we would use the cooldown more. Nice. God. Let's cast that. Nice. Avoid that. Avoid that. Okay, good. Oh, oh. It's not a good sound. I'm going quicker than the game can handle. Alright, good. I cannot for the life of me get a Tilbolt's pants today. Okay. Nothing useful. Let's go back to base. Because I might have to start picking up some of those damn charms now. If I'm to continue to progress this way. Let's get rid of this stuff. Junk. I mean, for most people, that loot is significant. This is one of the worst uniques in the game. I hate seeing that as a mythic unique. We don't need, really, any of this stuff, so let's get rid of it. Somebody would be very happy to have some of these. Because some of those are 6 sockets, which are kind of a pain in the butt to get. But again, at this point, like, I have to look through all of these to see if we have, like, incremental upgrades. But for my build, like, doesn't matter. Wrong place. Let's go over here. Salvage that. Get rid of the seals. Go back in here. I'm the only boss that is actually worthwhile for this season, ironically. Okay, good. Hey, look what we got! We got another mythic unique. Ring of the Starless Skies. It's an iconic mythic unique. Okay, so I think at least we can confirm at this point the season has fixed at least the drop rate for the iconic mythic uniques on the Corrupted Reaper. So at least that's one okay thing, I guess, right? Nice. We're seeing more of the iconics. It's just a shame most of the iconics at this point are garbage. Because they've been nerfed to the ground. But being able to pick them up is good. Alright, gotta save that. I think that might be the first one of the season for me. Let's get rid of that. 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 So much garbage loot. Get rid of that. I'm gonna pick more stuff up because I'm trying to, like, move it away from the box. Alright, how many more keys of this we have? 18. I don't think I can burn all my keys on stream today. What time is it? 6:24 and all's, well, 6:24 my time. I'm Eastern Standard, for those who are wondering. For now, at least. Let's see. That Cyclone dies in a hit again. Can I get to the box? It opens. There's a problem, I can't get to it. Gotta pick up all the aircraft. Loot filter would be perfect here. I think it would still block the loot, wouldn't it? No mythics, no mythics. I have to check to see how much of this junk we can pick up. Alright, let's go again. Don't want to waste time with these runs. Nice, nice, nice. Good, 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 good. Good, good. Good amount of damage. Gotta be careful. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a multicast. Alright, Grizzly Rage. Can't hit the Corrupted Reaper because there's so much loot around. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Peace out. Can I get to the box? Nope. Bunch of loot blocking the way yet again. Go back here a second. We're doing good. If you see a little bit of lagginess, it's not me, it's the server sometimes with this game. Alright. Let's get rid of more crap. We'll keep the Starless Skies ring, that's not bad. Everything else can go. Chunk it. Don't need one of those. Is this my first ring of Starless Skies for this character? Yeah, it is. Okay. So far for the season, we've gotten 1, 2... I think there's one tucked away somewhere. 3 iconic mythics. This one was before the patch. These 2 were after this recent patch. So I think they've done at least some significant progress in that retrospect. Is it enough? Debatable. I mean, if you don't play a whole bunch of Diablo 4 and you're not trying to min-max your gear, you're probably going to be fine with the result. I think I just picked up a nerf mythic. I did. This is one from the season. I mean, we're seeing a lot of purples now, so I do appreciate that, but a lot of them, as you can see, which is the biggest glaring issues, they're not like stuff that's for your build. Like, maybe if you're leveling, it's okay, but for like where we are at this stage of the game, like, I need a mythic of that to drop, but it's probably not going to because the loot pool is so diluted with so many different things that could drop as a mythic. And ironically, that drop too would dilute it from like mythic uniques. Also, I'm kind of confused why this is the only boss that's dropping iconics. Like, you can't farm Duriel. Duriel's not dropping them. So, you know, it becomes one of those questions of, well, what are we doing this season? Like, I don't really feel like our season should be dictated just by one boss. And that's the run that we have to do nonstop. And yet, here we are with this current state of the game. I'm not knocking the game. I enjoy playing this game. The way this is right now is not healthy for the meta. Because you're going to get a lot of people who get, like, burnt out on just, like, the loot being bad. Should probably go back to base. We'll open this one chest, and I think I'm going to reset the boss, even though this rotation... I don't want to get out of the seed, you could say, because this has dropped the most mythics for us this way. And I feel like if we were to back out of the game instead of picking up all our garbage loot, it might be detrimental to what we're trying to accomplish. Everything else except the Tilbalt's will can grow. I might roll to try to see if I can get that to roll as a mythic. Do we feel lucky enough to do this? Let's try. We don't have anything to lose. A couple sparks at best. Nope. I don't think it's even possible at this point to get a Tilbalt's Will mythic through that cube. I think that's like horribly glitched, perhaps. I know it's not an automatic upgrade, so I'm quite aware of that, Dreadknights, because I know there's going to be people like, oh, well, it's not a 1-for-1. I might actually have to, excuse me, I have to pick this up the regular way. I play on controller, for those who don't know, because I don't like mouse and keyboard too much, because my hands have, like, a lot of corpo from many, many years of, like, speedrunning stuff, so it's, like, easier to do this, just for this one particular thing to get them out of freaking way, man. Can't open my actual loot, because there's so much garbage. Please don't tell me that messed up my controller play now, and I won't be able to do anything. Because if it is, guess what? And yet, after all that, there's still a crap ton of loot. I can't open the box. This became garbage pickup simulator right now with Dreadknights. It's okay. We're fine. Most people wouldn't have as many of the stuff as I'm picking up. So I'm very happy and fortunate to be able to play this game and be able to get super far on 2 characters. Just literally sweating our behinds off to then find out, like... Get out of the way. There we go. It did not drop a mythic. That makes me sad. I think at this point, what we should do, as much as I don't want to, but I don't want to spend a lot of time going back and forth trying to pick up stuff that I'm probably not going to have, like, space to pick up. And there's no mythic mixed in there, is that we should back out and go back in, as opposed to trying to clean up a whole bunch of clutter, as you can see. If you see me look off on the sides, because I use my phone as a second screen, because I don't have 2 monitors. Alright, chunk it. As much as it pains me, because I think this was a very good seed we're going to get out of it. Also going to take a sip of hydration, if you don't mind. So we've been going for quite a bit here. Hour 40 already. Wow. And some good H2O. Alright, shall we? The quest for loot continues. I really like this particular wallpaper. I used it once or twice for a thumbnail. In fact, I think the thumbnail, not today, but Monday stream, I used the background for it. Oh, we have missed equipment. Can't have that. Can't have that. Garbage loot. I need to loud the game up. Now it's low. This game sometimes is hilarious. I'm gonna basically burn the rest of these keys for stream. I know this is, like, for our people, probably not the most interesting, but this is really endgame for season. I can, like, push the Paragon stuff, but I don't want to do that. I'm just trying to get... As I said, if people who maybe missed it at the beginning of stream, I'm literally just farming for one particular ring to just make this build more busted than it already is. Okay, so this is probably gonna get deleted pretty quick. The monster, that is, not me. Good, let's do that. We really have to move here. Maybe there. Let's cast this, which is done. It's open. No mythics. Very unfortunate. I'm gonna use the corner of shame so that way we don't waste any time whatsoever in terms of the loot. Your noise and background. Sorry, I live in noisy city. Time to time you will appear. Emergency service provider's password. Let's fight the boss again. And cast the hurricane there. My NPC dude actually gave us a little bit of a buffer there. Let me do Grizzly Rage. Nice. Yeah, you have my back. Good job. At least somebody does. Open sesame. Never iron. Stuff that's not going to be amazing, but you know, it's something. Cast this again. Grizzly Rage takes a long time in cooldown. I do need more cooldown on this particular build. Some people say that the Corrupted Reaper has become harder. I don't think so. I think that's a placebo effect. I'm actually doing, ironically, this right now, one-handed. This is built like kind of dumb that I could do it on one-handed on controller. I'm literally doing it one-handed right now, for those of you who don't know. I feel like she took a lot longer to take out this time now. Got her. Alright. Show me decent loot. More garbage. Put some of this over there, pick some of that up. And then send the majority of this loot again to the Shadow Realm Dreadknights. Looting never ends. Alright, let's pick this up, let's pick this up, let's pick this up, let's pick this up, this up, this up, this up. Ancestral gloves might be useful for somebody else. Unfortunately, again, we're at a point, really, with the season where it's like, you know, because I used a cube recipe so many times that we were able to just make a busted build that, like, nothing I drop is going to give me, like, a dopamine hit, so to speak. You know, because the whole point of, like, when you play Diablo, particularly, and Riker has said it best, is that when you want to see those amazing drops that you haven't, like, seen drop, and when you pick them up, you know it's going to be like a god tier item, which is like in Diablo 2, for example, in Diablo 2 Resurrected and Diablo Lord of Destruction expansion. When you saw a brown item drop, where it's the brown text, you always knew that you were getting a very good item. It was either you're going to get that Stone of Jordan that you needed, or you knew that you were going to get, like, your on Dariel's Visage, or you were going to get your Harley Quinn crest, aka Shreko, or Shaco, excuse me. And you knew that you were in for a great time with those loot. Even if you saw, like, green, some of the set armor pieces are good. I remember with Diablo 2 Resurrected, I got the full set of the Mortal Kings build, and I went with Warlord Barbarian for that. Like, you get those things and you get this, like, sense of satisfaction, because you know that the items you're picking up are always going to be great. The problem is, right now in Diablo 4, we had that feeling with the 12 iconic mythics whenever we saw purple. But this particular season, now we have the issue and the problem where if you make everything that was white be able to drop as purple, and most of that purple stuff is going to be garbage, there's no, like, sense of satisfaction, right? When you see these drops, you're just kind of sighing, hoping it's going to be the thing that you need to drop for your build. And that's where they kind of went wrong with the season, you know? There should be loot that you should be wanting to chase and be happy with it. What is this? I don't need this. I'm a little bit speechless because I'm looking at the loot and I'm like, eh? What is all this other stuff? Okay. Let's get rid of it, some of it, because I need to pick up some of that garbage. And that's the thing, you know? Like, can they fix it? Yeah, they can. They can. I think a lot of, like, our problems from this season are going to be maybe addressed for next one. Hopefully. Because I'll be honest with you, they don't address it next season, then there's going to be a larger dip in player count. And I don't think Blizzard, particularly the devs at this point, if they're trying to sell people on a new expansion, I'm not saying that there is one in development, I'm just pointing to if they're keeping with the original plan where there was going to be expansion in this game every year. I don't see how you're going to be able to do that if people start continuing to stop playing. So I don't think they can wait as long to fix, like, this particular issue from this season. Because if they do, then it's just going to, as many people have touched on, destroy all the goodwill that they established. You know? Now, I don't want to dog on the game. I'm not technically dogging on it. I'm just pointing it out. Like, there's so many times where I'm trying to get other people to play Diablo 4 with me, and they don't want to touch it because it has this notorious reputation of being a boring grind fest and a slog, and that after last season where it was good, that it's gone back to being a boring slog. You know? That's tough. And when you have, like, a lot of our content creators that are kind of saying the same type of things and they're dipping their toes into other games, I don't know. It's not good for the future. I don't see how you can get another expansion then, right? It just doesn't make sense from my point of view. Because how are you going to sell that expansion if there's not a lot of people playing said expansion, right? Like, you need people to play and buy expansions, but if people aren't playing and buying, is there really any value to that? I mean, don't get me wrong, you're going to, like, lobbies and you still see people buying all the cosmetics, so they are still making a bunch of money, but I don't know. Problem with Diablo 4 for a very long time is it has a player retention problem. And, like, I talked about this a little bit yesterday on stream, that like, Diablo tried, Blizzard in particular, to get so many people to play this game, like, through sponsorships. Like, they tried to get VTubers to stream this game, and most VTubers streamed it maybe 3 or 4 sessions, and, like, big VTubers they tried to get to stream this game. You know, they have the Diablo partners that, God bless them, have been trying to push the game as much as possible, but even some of them are kind of hitting this fatigue right now, you know? So it's like, I'll give you an example, like, I'm gonna use them as an example, like, HoloLive, I think years ago played this, if I'm not mistaken. Can you name one person from HoloLive that still plays this game? Nobody does. I think the last person who played it was Kiara years ago. I think maybe somebody from Hollow Stars. I think Regis might have played this on hardcore a while back and then never played it again. And I don't blame them because it wasn't their cup of tea, but you know, it's like, I use it as a great example of like player retention problems. You can't get people who are like super casual to stay in the game when they start initially in the beginning like super very excited for it. And this is the problem that Master Duel has even. Like, it doesn't look good, right? Like, you could give people sponsorship in Fortnite and 95% of the time the people will stay playing it or occasionally play it. You know, so it's like, I feel like Blizzard has to do things to kind of change. I'm not saying you have everybody's drops be super easy. That's not the case either. But I don't think the way that this season went is the way to do it too. Because, again, loot has to feel meaningful. And if none of the loot feels meaningful, what is exactly the chase? Why do you continue to do it for Paragon 300, right? Because if you're just picking up stuff that's giving you maybe 2% damage output, you know, like, the average Joe Schmo that doesn't play this as often as I do is not gonna really care about a 2% buff if most of the stuff doesn't make them be able to fulfill that power fantasy role, right? Like, people want to build up their character just like how they do in an MMO and feel like super powerful and that they can go in and like one-shot everything. And that's the other problem too. Like, I don't think you should be able to one-shot everything in Diablo 4. Because you couldn't one-shot everything in Diablo 2. And even in Diablo 3, you couldn't one-shot everything. So there's like this group of players that just wants everything in the game to be super easy. And that's not the way to do it either. Because you need to have like hard, difficult content for people who play endgame to really be able to enjoy endgame. And like, I think the developers thought that the way to do it was with the lair bosses and the pit 150, but you're just basically recycling Diablo 2's endgame mechanic with Diablo 3's endgame mechanic, and it's not as good, you know? Like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if these bosses could only drop specifically unique loot that is not yellow and is not like orange, and that would give people reasons to particularly target farm specific bosses as opposed to seeing all these things like mixed in here? Like, do we really need a whole bunch of rare seals when I'm in Torment 9? Like, no. Yeah, no. So why is this even spawning? Do we really need magic charms in Torment 9 for the player? Like, what is the purpose of this? Why do I need yellow and blue things to drop right now if the main objective for most players right now, when you're at this particular level of Torment, is this? Like, I just want purple items. I'm not saying give me a whole bunch of purple items. Keep that in mind. I don't want it to be easy, even though I've made it look very easy because I think we've gotten, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20, 30 mythic uniques at this point. Maybe not. I think I'm embellishing. It's been quite a few. It's been at least over 6. Like, and 2 of them were iconic. Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, all this extra added garbage doesn't need to be in a boss run. So, like, if you go back and you change this up in terms of your design philosophy, you could make people generally happy. Like, the best of the loot doesn't have to drop, but the worst of the loot shouldn't be dropping too, if you get what I'm saying. The chase should be fun, right? And again, like, the mythic gloves that I have are, I guess you could say, kind of good, but it's for a build that I don't need. So, like, if somebody was playing, I think those are the Ursaring ones, which I am actually going to save because I do have a Lightning Storm gains 1 additional. See, this would be kind of interesting to mess around with. I might hold on to this, and I will test it off of stream, okay? That's one of those things I want to test off of stream, because that could be funny for an unintentional reason. You know, but yeah, you know. Look at all these drops that I can't really... Like, that's great, but I already have the mythic version of it, so unless there's, like, a significant difference, which it's not at this point. By the way, when I rolled for Indestructible, I cried every time with Transfigs. Transfigs are a part of the game. They're just, like, I don't really even think they should exist at this point. Because they don't do anything beneficial for you, Dreadknights. Like, there's a lot of things they need to retool for next season. Just to kind of think it through a little bit better. We'll see. I mean, Blizzard, I think, at this point, kind of knows what people want to see and what people don't. One should hope. So, I'll tell you what we got on stream so far. Wasn't that stuff? Not that. So, we got a Mother's Embrace. We also got Ethereal's Might. We got a Purified Lightbringer. That was today. We got a Unsung one. We got a Tasslets. We got a... Not the Pentium Greaves, but we did get the Fury of the Wilds. Both of them. We did get a Greenwalker's Signet. We also got the Hunter's Zenith. We got the Mark of the Old Wolf. We got the Might of the Urnstring. We got the Ring of the Starless Skies. So we did get 2 Iconics to drop today. I mean, Ring of Starless Skies is not bad. It's just in this build. You don't really have a use for it because it's Shred Druid. We got the Signet of Plane. I actually kind of needed that for my Frozen Rogue Garage build and we never got the drop. That's kind of funny. Dolmen Stone. So we got like a lot, right? It was 1, 2. Thank you for the follow, like, comment, whatever that was here on YouTube or Twitch. I do greatly appreciate it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Mythic Uniques. I'm not going to just back out just yet. I'm going to do a couple more farm sessions. Hopefully we'll get the ring that I need. Because at this point, like, we've been farming this boss almost for a full hour, Dreadknights. We still haven't gotten what we're looking for. Again. But we'll have at least a lot of sparks I can then try to do something with. Okay, good. Nice. Good. Good. Nice. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, I don't know. What was that about? Let's open this. No mythics there. A bunch of garbage loot again. Okay. I don't expect to get a mythic every time. Keep that in mind. But it would be nice to see a lot less yellow stuff that's really got no purpose. Pick that up. Just so I can get, like, salvageable materials at that point. Good. Get rid of that. Good. Or that. See if I can pick up some Earth stuff. Nice. We're gonna do that. Might as well fight the boss again. How many more keys do I have? I forgot to check. So we might have just summoned a boss that and we can't open the chest. That would be foolish. Okay, good. Nice. Oh, I can't see where the boss is. Too much crap. This is the consequences of my actions. I don't need that. Garbage. We'll use it for a reroll. Garbage. Not for this build. Garbage. See if I can get the stuff in the back here. May do it this way, because if not, I'm just not going to be able to get to it. Well, that was not exactly what I was intending to do. So much loot, and it's not anything I need. That's the funny part. 1 second. Trying to The thing is, when I pick up with the pointer, it takes a while for the game to then register. I'm playing on controller, for those of you who don't know, it's more comfortable for me. But obviously, it's not the most ideal. Honestly, I don't think the lead's gonna get better at this point. Alright, let's see. Garbage, 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 garbage. I already have a bunch of those. Should we try to roll for the ring before we bow out for the day? I think we have enough. Hopefully. Yeah, we have 16. Didn't get it. I keep getting everything except the ring I want. It's just to show you, like, the glaring issue with this season, too. Do I have another one of those rings that I can just upgrade? And try to get lucky that it just rolls it as an upgrade as opposed to anything else. Let's try. Cross your fingers, Dreadknights. We need a miracle, because it usually when you put something in it doesn't give you what you want back. Let's hope we get lucky. Nope, it's a Zenith one. Well, beep you, right? I have so many of these at this point that doesn't really matter. And just replace that one. What other rings do I have? Honestly, at this point, we just get rid of all the garbage. Because we have a bit of a hoarding problem, you could say, with this. So many rings, but they're not doing anything for the rolls. This is the mercy of the end game. Can I do it again? Come on, give me the ring! Still not the ring I need. We'll put these back for now. I'll hold on to that. I'm tempted to try the Mumver's Embrace just for poops and giggles. We have to farm the boss a bit more if we want to do that. I think I got it in me for maybe 1 or 2 more boss runs. Because at this point, like, the loot ain't dropping. I could spend all the keys that I have at this point. Yeah, let's just burn the rest of the keys. There's only 7 of them left anyway. So, in 7 keys, we managed to get at least 15, 16, 17, like, mythics. Some of them were cube crafting. Some of them were, like, actual drops from the... It's better. It's just, like, the seasonal theme is killer. And we could probably do it on a higher tournament to get, but again, it's just, like, I gotta do it on the level that's, like, the most fashion efficient, because if not, it's kind of a waste of my time. Because I can't get in as many runs in, right? So there's that. Where's she dropping? I don't know where she went. Peace out. Ow! Werewolf, right? That's how werewolves go. Ow! Superior Lyricy. Okay, good, 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 good. Why can't I pick up stuff? Because I have a whole bunch of garbage, Dread. Why do you think you can't pick up stuff? Because you keep picking up garbage loot, Dread. Sorry, Dread. Still great axe. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Somebody's gonna get mad because I dropped that. It's fine. It didn't have good stats. I even saw a quick glance. Somebody would be very happy with that, not me. I just need the seals to, like, be moved over a little bit so we have, like, actual space to work with the box. Alright, let's go with that. That'll give extra poison damage. And then from there, we're pretty good. I miss the fact that the Shroud of Full Step kind of has been nerfed to it. It used to give, like, plus skills, if I remember correctly, and doesn't anymore. It was, like, all the iconics and mythics got changed. When they did, it's terrible. Oh my goodness. Nothing worthwhile. Where's the loot? Where's the loot? We've been rolling a ring for almost 2 hours now. We still haven't gotten it. Oh, the chase is real. And it's only for like a 2% increase in power. That's the crazy part. And there's a chance that even if I were to get the ring, it wouldn't be a ring that's going to be better than the ring I have concurrently. In theory. It's a vicious cycle this season in Diablo 4. A very vicious cycle, Dreadknights. I need a luck of a rabbit right now. Anybody know a good rabbit I can ask for luck? Go here. This is garbage. This is garbage. Yeah. At this point, you see how most of the stuff, it's like we just have a better version of it already. If at first you don't succeed, loot again, right? Oh. Okay. I think the next time we do this build, I'll be probably pit farming, so I can upgrade the glyphs. Like, that's the next thing I plan to do. I didn't do it today because it's like, the whole point of the season's mythics, right? How many keys do I have left? 4. So much junk. Alright, let's go. Nerky. Tiny bit of overtime, not a lot, so don't get hype. Only a tiny little bit. Because I want to be able to get at least enough sparks to be able to roll the ring a couple last times. I'm not going to try to get the Tobolt's Wolf Pants on stream, because I think that's just going to take a ridiculous amount of rolls. I would probably have to farm a whole bunch more bosses again for that to work. Peace out. Open the superior chest. Still garbage loot. But there is at least a unique charm. So that's something. Is it something good? Is it something better than what we have? It's debatable. Everything in this game at this point is like debatable whether it's going to be good or not. In terms of loot. I feel like I've seen a whole bunch of items that I'll never use. That's why the air problem too. Like, most of the unique, some of them are like for builds you'll never play in your life in this game. Because they're just like for skills that nobody can really use because of the imbalance in power, I guess. I'll just drop this. I forgot that I had to salvage those. In fact, let's do that for a quick second while we have a moment. An icon on my phone that I've never seen before. What icon is that? Somebody try to call me on stream? That'd be weird. Godslayer crown. This is good for a different build. It's the season of insignificant. I'm gonna hold the ring in case I can roll. Let's try one more time. We're almost done, Dreadknights. I know. Dread, please stop playing this dungeon crawler doing the same thing over and over again. This is what dungeon crawlers are about. You just loot, and you loot, and you loot, and you loot, until you get better here. Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, even though I'm complaining about the loot not dropping, I want to see this is very relaxing for me. This is actually helping with content creation burnout, believe it or not. Because I'm doing something I actually want to do on stream. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Hold on to that. Next. Let's cast the lightning. Cast that. And then just go to town on the Corrupted Reaper. Threw up its shield, that's fine. I mean, I could see why some people say maybe it's a little harder, but it's not, like, significantly harder. Because we're still wrecking it as long as our Grizzly Rage is up. Hey, look! Look, look, look! We got an mythic. We got an mythic, so at least we're ending stream with at least an mythic. What's a Shattered Vow? It's an iconic mythic, so we got 3 iconic mythics to drop today. Alright. So the update at least did that. You have a higher chance of seeing the iconic mythics drop on the boss. But we spent like 36 keys to do that. So again, is it necessarily a great deal? Because you'll have to farm for a whole bunch of keys. And those keys don't drop easily. You have to do a seasonal mechanic, or you have to go through ruptures and stuff, which takes a while. Like, to prep for this stream, I had to prep like 2 or 3 days off a stream to get the amount of keys that we use Shred Knights. That's just context for you. Is it Varshan by itself? Nah. Why is it the same pair again? These two love to hang out with each other. Is it like a set fixer? Ooh, a greater layer? Hold on, Dreadknights. Hold on. Sorry about that. If you hear noise in the background, a little noisy city. Time to time, you will hear emergency service providers pass through. I cannot do anything about that. I don't have sound panels I can put up. We gotta be realistic sometimes, right? Anybody who lives in the city knows this. Even if I were to put up, like, the noise gate, it wouldn't really matter significantly, per se. We need this. So let's drop 2 of these. And we'll do this layer if I have enough keys for it. I have only 2, so I can't do the big layer, I think. Because this could drop, like, the superior one. So let's see if we get any more loot. But we got a lot of mythics today, it's just not everything. A couple of iconics. So we got 3 iconics, and then I think about 15 or 16 regular mythics. Not bad for a 2-hour session in Diablo 4, considering where we are. Most stuff unusable. Aw, you think I'm afraid of you? Do you not know how many times I've wrecked you? Do you not know that I'm the Devourer of Destiny, the Executioner of Fate, the Dragon of the Abyss, the Devourer of Souls? How many tiles does this guy have? So here's the trick to saying my greeting. The only part of the greeting that ever stays the same is, "Greetings, it is I, the Harbinger of Destruction, the Dragon of the Abyss." Everything after that, you totally ad-lib. So I put the Devourer of Destiny, the Executioner of Fate. Sometimes I'll say the Scourge of the Internet. Sometimes I'll say the Breaker of Hearts. I mix it up. So if you ever want to, like, mimic Dread, I guess I could say. And heck, I'm fine with people mimicking me. I've always said that. You can mix up the second part of it, just never mix up the first part. And if you do it, clip it. I'd love to see it as a clip. I would really love to see it in video form. Because I'd love to see what people could come up with. I don't think we have enough to open this, right? Do I have superior keys? Oh, I have 2 left. Unlucky. Unlucky. It's fine. It's fine. I don't want amazing loot anyway, right? Let's see. We're in green still. We are. I'm just gonna burn the last keys, and then I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. If you're having some issues, I apologize for that again. I don't know if it's YouTube or ISP today. It's been one of those weeks. If you know, you know. Let's get this. Alright, so we're gonna use... This is an iconic mythic, so again, people coming in maybe are like, what the hell? Look how many mythics I got. None of these are really usable, though, I gotta be honest. A lot of them are garbage. But hey, there's a barbarian out there that kind of probably needs this, and I don't. I'm the one that got it instead. Surprised we haven't seen a Harley Quinn crest, though. That would have been nice. Alright, this is the final 2 keys. Once I burn these, that is all the farming that I'm going to be doing for today. I usually stream Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's not always Diablo 4. I like to mix it up, so it's like Diablo 4 is in the mix this month. And then I do like a bit of variety. So yesterday, I was playing Binding of Isaac. Tomorrow, I'm going to be playing Power World 1.0. Apparently, there's a new update for that. We'll be continuing the world that I started on stream before I went on break. Then on Friday, I'll be playing more Diablo 4, but we'll be doing Eternal Realm. I'll play Whirlwind Barbarian, and we'll see how much of this, like, new game mechanics, Mythic 3.0, actually made it into Eternal Realm, because I don't know if it did or didn't. Did one last Mythic for the road? We did get one last Mythic for the road. Let's go. I'm just lucky, I guess, in that retrospect. Oh my god. This is not scripted. This is not a recorded stream. I did not kid you when I was saying, wouldn't it be kind of cool if we could get a Harley Quinn crest? Because that's like the only thing I haven't seen drop, really. Well, we got it. So I can at least confirm with the update. When you do the boss runs, you will see a lot more iconic mythics to drop. I think the drop rate's been changed a little bit on that. The other thing with this patch, they added the protection bubble for the pit run, so after you complete a pit run, you get the bubble. Any other thing that really I've noticed, the rogue infinite damage glitch bug has been fixed so people can't cheat the leaderboard. And the cube recipe, instead of saying upgrade, it says craft a mythic. Apparently, it will be a true upgrade to mythic in Season 15. They might fix the Falling Sword AoE nonsense that people have been complaining about this season. I don't know. The community manager said something about it. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. It remains to be seen. I just gotta be honest with you all at this point. I think if it gets fixed, it'll probably be next season, but if Blizzard sneaks it in for a hotfix patch this season, it would be great. But I think that's something that you have to tackle probably next season, which is probably what they're mostly focused in on now. Is this update good? Well, I mean, if you're mythic iconic farming to try to push for T12, yeah, it's significant, but you have to get a whole bunch of keys, which means you're going to be spending a lot of time grinding for the keys. I still feel like if all the bosses had their drop rates fixed, and it wasn't just being able to farm the Corrupted Reaper nonstop, because this is really the only boss you can farm to get the stuff that you need to drop, like, it would be great. But, like, there's so many superior keys I've burned today, Dreadknights. Like, if you were here, or if not, you don't realize we burned 37 superior keys. We got 16 mythic uniques. Then we got 4 iconic mythics to drop. So, I mean, it's better. It's better. But again, trying to farm for the keys is not something that, like, people who don't play as much as I do, or who play as much as a lot of content creators are feasibly going to be able to do. I prepped 2 days to get these keys for today's stream, just so I could be prepped for the update. And we still have, like, a whole bunch of aircraft that... how many... We're gonna roll for the ring one last time. 1 ring to roll them all. Can only roll like 2 times, I think. The ring I want is this, by the way. But we cannot get it from the cube. I have tried desperately. Is this it? Nope! Oh. Pain is love and love is pain. I love Diablo 4, but god damn it, does it cause me a lot of pain. Well, I mean, we did get, at least in that run, the Harley Quinn crest. So, just a quick recap. Get rid of this garbage. I'm gonna put this. Oops. I didn't go where I wanted it to. 1 second. I like to kind of micromanage my boxes a little. So I like all the mythics in one place, just so I know. So I can keep a track of everything. Thank you, whoever that was, for the like or follow. I do greatly appreciate it. Make sure to also leave a comment. That also helps with the algorithm. I do greatly appreciate all that stuff. Helps us out here on the channel. Yeah, there's like, I'm gonna just hold these for now, for no reason. Just in case I get bored with the build. I doubt that. Let's get rid of this. Alright. So, for this build, Galen's Birthright, obviously put an aspect, this particular one here, debilitating toxins. Neurotoxins, runic gloves also help. Tilbelt's Will. Get this as a ancestry or mythic. I haven't gotten lucky. That's the one item piece that's also refusing to drop. Overcharge Archeon Greaves. You want a mythic Wax Gibeus. You want a mythic Iphis Dire Totem. You want, ideally, a mythic of this, which we could get all stream. Dirge of Erda. Also, if you can't get it, at least get it Ancestral. I haven't had any luck. This ring refuses to drop in Ancestral. Then from here, you just get, like, Limbic Boundary. And then from there, Malefic Crescent, preferably a mythic unique version of it. But if you can get an Ancestral drop, that's the one. For this actual, excuse me. For the set, just use the Shepherd set. Play around with the affixes that they give you on that. I'm using this for now. Because I've got one. You could use Azura Wrath if you get it instead. I didn't get lucky in that retrospect, so I'm just trying to get it. I'll just go over the skills real quickly for people who don't know, but you can basically look up any of these type of builds. They're not going to be exactly like mine, but you could look them up at max roll. And if you don't look at it on max roll, look at it at Mobilytics, and you'll be fine. But put all your points into Lightning Storm, and then pick the ones that work. Put all your points into Shred. Put all your points into Cyclone that you can. Put as many as you can, like 1 point only into Bloodhound. Then from there, 1 point into Wolves. You shouldn't really pick these passives. I'm actually going to do a railway with these passives so I can have more points for something else. 1 point into Trample. Again, max roll. Just look up a max roll guide. I don't want to tell you do something that you can read and be a little bit better for you. Put as many points as you can to Grizzly Rage. And that's basically the build that I'm playing. Max roll guides are available on there. If you know, you know. Anyway, with that being said, that is all the time that I have for today. I will be back tomorrow for Pal World. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you to anybody that liked and subscribed. Leave a comment. VOD watchers helps with the algorithm. Tomorrow I'll play Pal World 1.0. That's technically 1.2 now, because I had an update. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I do greatly appreciate it. Most importantly, I appreciate you. And I'll see you all for the next one. Until next time, guys.